Hot out here in Dad's workshop today. Hey, Daniel. Welcome, Daniel Gandara. Been a few days now. Let me see if I can get this camera in a little bit. Welcome to Dad's workshop. The bees are buzzing, the birds are chirping, the pollen is pollinating, the heat is heating. Definitely spring in full swing. We got these boxes to unbox today. These gifts from viewers. But I gotta wait till a few more people show up because I can't start unboxing stuff. I also don't know who sent what was sent by whom. But we got, and I'm not promoting Amazon, but we got these packages here, and I kind of gotta wait till my regulars like Daniel. I know you're here, and you are a big time friend of the program. I want to wait till I can get some answers about who sent these wonderful gifts off the Amazon wish list. But if you're new here, welcome to Dad's Workshop. Ruiz, welcome, friend of the program, Ruiz. We got these gifts, these boxes from Amazon. I have no idea what they are. I've been out of town the whole weekend. I promised to unbox these. It looks like somebody started doing this one, but it has not been unboxed. It is still in its intact form. And we got this big box here. I'm super excited. Probably shouldn't shake it. This one here is a little smaller. Not a gimmick. We're actually gonna unbox these today. Oh, I know you do, Ruiz. I'm not. This is not to put anyone out. These were sent. I have no idea who sent them. I think maybe one of them was Chardonnay. I wouldn't rule out anyone. Daniel has gifted us in the past. I wouldn't be shocked if one of them was Daniel's. Could be both from Chardonnay. I have no idea. That's why I got to get everybody on here. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, could have been a cat working at the box. I have no idea. Yeah, my links for my Amazon wish list are on the channel page. How's everybody doing? Let me get my coffee because I'm gonna kind of hang out for a couple minutes while I wait for folks to pop in. Did someone say there's a Japanese handcuffs, a rubber chicken? Yeah, it might be a mouse in it, right? That's why the cat was after it. Solution on my phone, and I'm sorry, I'm so red. I am hot. I am so hot. I opened the door here. Regular coffee, caffeinated. Oh, Ruiz, you're fine, man. Don't be frustrated. The link is in my info, though. If you want to gift us, that's fine. If not, the gift, your presence is your presence. This is not an expectation. Brew method was Mr. Coffee, drip coffee. It was not any kind of special percolator. It was not a cold brew. I didn't go to the hills of Colombia and harvest the coffee myself. I just made some coffee. You know, how I do. Yeah, this is like some real basic coffee. Real basic coffee. I guess you want me to say something else, but I was warned to be careful about what I say about my beverages on my live stream. But just know, I always put a lot of creamer in this coffee. Yep, microwaved. That's the other part. Low budget. I'm waiting for Chardonnay to pop in here because I'm starting to figure out by deduction that these are from Chardonnay. Since Ruiz, I know you didn't send them, and I know it doesn't sound like Daniel sent them. So I'm thinking that there's only two options unless one of y'all wants to fess up to sending these boxes. The two options are that they came from someone random or they came from Chardonnay. Paste it in the Discord. Yeah. Okay. All right. But by the way, guys, it does not matter if you do not send anything. It is not an obligation. Okay. And I want you to know that because it's very serious to me that I do not put expectations on you all that make you uncomfortable. Okay. So that's not. Don't do that. Don't feel like you have to do something that's putting you out. But I do appreciate you. Yeah. Link should be in the Link should be in the YouTube on the YouTube channel, like the links section. Yeah, no, I know you guys. You guys are good. Don't feel this is not. This is just because I believe Chardonnay probably wants me to unbox these on the live stream. If she doesn't make it today, I'm gonna have a hard time like waiting. I'm not. I'm like a kid. I was known for opening my Christmas presents early as a kid, so this is really hard for me. Oh, Chardonnay's here. Welcome, Chardonnay, friend of the program. Are you the one guilty of sending these gifts? Okay. All right. Let's find out what these are all about. Welcome to Dad's Workshop, where we're going to unbox these Amazon wish list items. I believe sent by Chardonnay. Chardonnay can confirm that or not confirm it if she wishes. Ah, so good. She's guilty. I'm going to take my little Gerber knife here. And very careful. I'm going to start with this little one here. I should probably zoom in and make this super visual. Yeah, it's on Discord. On Discord is what Miss Heather is saying right now. So here we go. Let's do this in a way we can everybody can see what's happening. Without knocking stuff over here. All right, start with the little one here. I have a buck knife, like my hunting knife, but this knife I like a lot. I'm not going to plug the brand because they don't pay me. Suffice to say, it is a brand name multi-tool. This is the small box, feels a little light, so I'm going to see what's in it. J&J here. Welcome, J&J. Welcome to the program. Friend of the program, J&J. What do we have here? We have this. And we have this. Let's put this box aside. I'm good, J&J. How are you doing? Seem pretty good, are they? Can everybody see? This has to be visual. Maybe I zoomed in too much. Let me back it up a little. Ouch. Freaking bunk beds in here. Yeah, I know how you feel, J&J. You know, at work is tough. Oh, I lost my, hold on, let me get back to my live stream. There we go. How's it look, all right? My mic all right? Everything's good. So let's find out what's in this little box. Something here in the fabric case. Look, it says something about a jig here, so let me see what we got. Oh yeah. So this is like a multiple angle jig that I put on my wish list for like cabinet making. It helps making cabinet doors, but it also just helps cutting straight lines and different angles when you have different multiple what do you call multiple dimensions that you have to work around. So hot in here, I opened the door. Yeah. Let's take a look at it. Kind of reminds me of a Craig jig. It may even be made by them because it has that blue color, which is like their trademark color. Oh yeah, I like this already. Just a little paper. How to install. Insert the stainless steel ruler into the screw slit of the plastic roller. Oops, I lost a tumbler there. Is that on this way? I hope that's right. This should be out, I think. One. I think it's supposed to go between these. I looked at this and thought this would be great for when we're looking at multiple different dimensions at once. I just felt like this would be a nice tool to have for that. Shout out Chardonnay, got this stuff. And the little piece there is supposed to go on that side, which is interesting. All right, these should go the other way, like that. And this should go. Well, they had that on there like that. I wonder why it's. Like that. And then yeah, the side that screws in should be on the top. Then it says center the ruler and turn the screw to fix the position. So that's when you're actually using it. This right here, I believe, goes like this here, like that. And I'm going to tighten it just a little. And then it says insert the horizontal slider into the longitudinal plastic slider and fix it. Uh-oh. I lost the slider. All right, you have to undo this screw to do this. But not too much. Yeah, you get that. Oh, it's this way. Man, my spatial relations has a lot of problems. There we go. Tighten that. Let me get that last tumbler. I guess you got to be kind of careful with this that you don't undo the screws too much, because then they might pop out and you end up with like a necessary screw somewhere on your floor probably. So that's the thing right here. And as I recall, this is how you do like cabinet doors. Things like this one should clamp onto a door. So if I'm trying to find out the gap between the door and like the handle, and I'm going to read a little more about these, like the door and the handle. And I believe these little screw holes here are like more like notches to put pencil marks. So you can lay out marks on there. at certain distances. This is a really cool tool, and one that I'm definitely going to use. Hopefully here on the live we will get to use this multiple times. But yeah, each one of these little tumblers slides out, and then this one slides up and down. So as I've told you all before, not a master cabinet maker, but would love to like learn some of the skills involved with it. No, I found the slider. I don't need a new one. Don't buy a new slider. It says for usage instructions, determine the location of the pull handle and mark it with a pencil, and then use a tape measure to measure the distance from the side of the cabinet door to the mark. Adjust the position of the horizontal baffle and lock according to the measured distance. Adjust the position of the small sliding plate according to the distance. And then the holes are drilled directly through these gaps. That's why it looks a lot like a Craig jig, and I think they use blue plastic too to make it look like a Craig jig. And that's, you know, you see these little holes on Craig jigs here. So those are going to be what it's basically meant for cabinet sliders and cabinet doors and handles and things like that. So yeah, it gets your stuff in exact positions. I like this. This is going to be a good tool. Thank you, Chardonnay, for that. Yep, drawer handles primarily. Mike is making stuff. Welcome. Mike is making stuff. Front of the program. See if I can put it up here safely. All right, on to this next thing we got here in this plastic package. Oh, I think I remember what this was. Feels like Christmas. Here we have this little box. It said something about pencils, but we'll find out when we open it. Oh, yeah, okay. Now, I thought about this after I did this, and it is possible to make one of these yourself. These are a little smaller than what I envisioned in the picture, but I think it's for smaller pieces of wood. What this does is find the center point on any given piece of wood. Now, we're missing a thing there. No, that's there. So what you're doing is you're actually like taking this and centering it on a piece of wood, and I don't have a small enough piece of stock here, I don't think. Let me see if I can find a small piece of stock. All right, here's a piece of stock right here. And I don't know how to use these edges yet. Oh, those hold your pencil. So if you're trying to get a quarter of the way, you go in that mark, right? And it's easy. It's a jig to basically mark a piece of wood from bottom to top. Let me show you real quick. They came with two, which is cool. I don't know if I have a pencil out here right now. I think I brought all my pencils inside. Let me check and see if I got a pencil so I can show you all what this does. It's really cool. It's kind of complicated to find the center point of any piece of wood. It's a tricky little thing. You have to do it with a ruler. Some of y'all may know how to do it, but it's kind of a pain and it's not very exact. But this tool right here, I could just have one pencil in my stuff here. That would be nice. But I can do it with a pen. I got one, I think. Okay. So what we got here is the handle. When it slides on to any given piece of stock, especially for these little ones, this is really good for, like, I wanted to make these little tiny blocks, but I had a hard time making the accurate marks on them. So here we have this piece, and actually you can, I believe you can stick a pencil down through here. It's got to be kind of a thin one. Oh, no, it holds in there. Let's see if I can get it down. Anyway, I have to sharpen it a bit more. The pencil fits in here. goes down and it finds the exact center of a piece of wood. If you want a third of the way or a fourth of the way, you have these little spots right here. And I don't know if you watched my short, but you see me marking with a marking gauge on that. Basically, it allows you to make marks at fractions of piece of wood that you're on. It divides your piece of wood into different fractioned portions. The center hole here, you place your pencil there and it goes through, it makes a mark exactly in the center of your piece of wood. It's really a brilliant piece because, and there's different versions of this, and you could probably make one yourself with a little bit of work. But you see, as you slide it, it's going to keep your pencil in place on the middle of whatever piece of wood you have. If it's dimensionally, it's not a dimensional piece, whatever. These I ripped from larger 2x4s. So all I gotta do is get my pencil sharp enough to get my pencil tip through there, and I can find the middle point of any small piece of stock easily and mark it easily like this. All I gotta do is just move it like that. Isn't that cool? Awesome, right? And it came with two. This one's got a little larger pencil mark in it, a little pencil holder in it. It almost fits this pencil tip. Let me see if I can sharpen this pencil a little bit. And it's for regular pencils, not like carpenter's pencils, so, which is cool because carpenter's pencils are stupid and have no erasers on them. And we all need erasers, right? Because we all make mistakes. Except for some of these woodworkers that you find, they're perfect YouTube videos where they never make mistakes. You know? So perfect, I hate them. So perfect. All right, so here we go. Nope, no actual pencil sharpeners around here. Left those behind when I stopped teaching. Here we go. All right, my pencil's through. I'm gonna find the center point of this piece of wood just by taking this and putting it down here just like this and sliding. Now, this is kind of a short one, so I only got a little bit of distance to slide, right? All right, it's not going all the way through. There we go. Boom. And that's the exact center of that piece of wood, right? And that is important. I mean, let me see if it does the same thing on the other side. Same thing, right? It's kind of how you can test it. So basically, you can keep a pencil in one of these and find the center of a piece of wood over and over again without having to sit there and mark things over and over and over again. This one has a smaller pencil area. I don't know what the metal thing is for yet. Looks like it is a magnet. I'm gonna have to look at what that is for. It's possible that you could run two pieces, like a piece of wood through and get the center on both sides, right? I wonder why they're magnetic. That is something I gotta investigate. Yeah, so I sharpen all my pencils with chisels and knives. I don't have a pencil sharpener here, but actually I've found that I get a better sharpening with chisels and knives. Pencils are such crap now that sometimes you'll find you'll sit there and go crank, 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 or stick it into a pencil sharpener and you pull it out and there's no lead because the lead is broken all the way through the inside. They used a broken piece of lead or graphite. It's not actually lead. Man, that's cool. Oh, and here we go with. This came with, I believe, these two bits came with the jig over there. So we're gonna keep these bits with the jig. Look like pretty standard wood bits there. And the bag also goes with the jig. So super cool. I put this on my wish list because I wanted it. Because finding a center for us can be kind of important. I'm going to use this. I wonder why these magnets are here, though. I want to figure out what the magnets are for. If somebody can figure out what the magnets are for, why they attach, and why they have different sizes. Why they have different size holes. Like this one has a smaller hole than the other one. This one fits the pencil easily, this one doesn't, and I think that's by design. And I don't remember reading anything about that. Let's put this up for a second so everybody can see that cool thing. That on the bandsaw, cover up the bandsaw branding because they don't pay me to be on here. Raycon, everybody. Raycon. I'm gonna get another piece of tape and cover that because Raycon doesn't pay me. Don't ever advertise stuff for people for free. America, we're the king. We're the kings and queens of free advertisement. We're commercialists, so we wear shirts that have Nike swooshes on them and all that stuff. The reason we see athletes wearing that stuff is because they get paid, ladies and gentlemen. They get paid to wear that. Rory McIlroy is not going to wear any Nike stuff unless Nike pays him $1 million checks, multi-million-dollar checks on a daily basis. These two screws are actually, I think, extras for this jig up here as well. So we keep all that together. That is a cool thing. Thanks to Chardonnay, friend of the program, for getting those things. It is so hot. So hot. All right, and the big thing. This is a big thing. I have a feeling I know what this is. Magnet used for storage. Yeah, I guess if you do got a magnet strip up on your workbench, that's probably what it is. I don't have one of those magnet strips up there now, but I should install one. Because there's a lot of people, their chisels stick to the wall. That's how they use magnet strips to stick their chisels up. That's a smart way to do it. Here we have a big old box. Yeah. Thanks, Chardonnay. Yeah, Chardonnay, who was the one who made all of these awesome purchases for us. Chardonnay said, someone said that the magnets are for storage, and that's probably right. Here we are with this big thing. I think I know what this is. I'm not going to speculate, though. I'm psyched about that middle point finder, though. That middle point jig. That's a big one. All right, let's see what's in here. For steel surface. Yeah, I don't know what the video, the thing I saw, like, not steel work. I mean, I guess you could use it on metal. Unless I'm not understanding the comment completely. Gold bullion. You know, I used to sell bullion on eBay, chip gold, and I sold silver bullion when silver was on a parabolic rise. But we'll talk about that a different day. Back in like the 2000s, there was like this period of time where I noticed gold and silver were moving. They were super volatile, and they didn't have fees for shipping on eBay. So I was like, if I just buy this bullion and then drop it below market value, I can sell silver plates, like not silver plates, silver bullion, basically, from this company called Scottsdale Silver. It's pure silver. And I sold gold, chip gold on eBay. It was pretty cool. I like precious metals too. All right, what do we got here? It says from, interesting. Another box in here. Has the original sender's name. That's not the person who bought it. Oh yeah, here it is. All right, so this is trickier. So we gotta do this carefully. This is the right one right here. Wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. I'm so psyched. This is that multi-angle vise. I don't know if you've seen these. And I'm not surprised Chardonnay picked this one off the wish list because this is like almost like a metalworker's vise. Once I install it, you'll see it, but it has a swivel on it. You can angle your workpiece at almost any angle. There's like a ball joint on there. We'll take it out and take a look at it. Thank you so much, Chardonnay. So this one gets mounted right on the bench. can kind of see what it does right there. These have kind of been something I've looked at for a while. You see, you got like a ball joint on there, so wherever your workpiece is can be kind of swiveled around. Uh, yeah, I thought it was a lot small. The picture made it look a lot smaller. This is bigger than I thought. Yeah, I know the clamps are rough looking to look at. Yeah, yeah. This is a really cool thing. I didn't actually think anybody was gonna buy this, so appreciate it. We're gonna make this thing work for us. Might have to put it on today. We'll see. RTFM. I don't know if y'all ever heard that before. The boomer in the room has. Mike is making stuff. I know he's heard RTFM. I had to tell my dad RTFM today because he was putting together a vacuum and was doing stuff wrong. All right, here we have some components of it right here. Yep. I'm finna cut off the live and just start doing stuff. Thank you. See you later. Let me move this so you can see what I'm doing because that's like part of this whole process. Yeah, I like that. Articulating balls, ball locks and unlocks for quick and infinite positioning. So yeah, like wooden bench vices are cool, and I might build one of those. But this is like, I mean, it's 2025. We don't have to look like a wood snob, like the anal retentive carpenter. You know, if it holds wood, and this has like nice, the clamps on this feel like they wouldn't damage wood. You know, you have to be careful. Yeah, it has wood in the picture, and in the instruction, there's wood workpieces in there. Oh yeah, so the sleeves go in here. Let me move this. I don't want to move this piece of wood off of here because it's so heavy. Let me make it so you all can see it here. Here's the vise, and then these two pieces I believe go in to the clamp portion here. We'll see exactly how to put it together here in a second. Yeah, I use one of those, you know, basic bench vices, but those are really meant for metal work. They're really clumsy. They don't tighten hard, and they also leave like imprints on everything you do. So we're gonna also with, you know, I know now you can take wood and put it between to help you with if it's gonna mar your work. I'm not usually, I do kind of more crude work. I don't do that much fine woodworking. So like the work I need to do is usually okay if there's a few little, you know, nicks and stuff in it. You know, I probably shouldn't be like that, but like I said, I'm not anal. You know? That's my thing. I'm not an anal guy. Some may be, some may say, but I'm not. Here we go. Yep, that's it. You got it. Mike is making stuff. RTFM, he got it right. All right, right here we have this, I believe. Let me move this. I'm going to have to move this workpiece. It's been waiting for me all weekend. Let's look at the manual here. So what does the manual tell us? Do not apply more than 100 foot-pounds of torque at any time. This is why you read manuals. Do not apply more than 100 foot-pounds of torque at any time. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's. I mean, more than once, my dad's hit me with RTFM, and today he's putting together this vacuum. Where do I put these? Where do I put these little HEPA filters? I was like, well, let's take a look at where you put those. RTFM. Let's see here. It's not rocket science, but I don't want to do it wrong, and I don't want to orient it on the bench wrong either. Before installing, be sure the table or workbench has a square edge and a solid mounting surface that can handle 200 foot-pounds. Okay, it can do that. Position the vise in the reverse 45-degree position to prevent tipping forward and falling during installation. See, I can see that being a problem too if somebody didn't do that. Next, place the vise in desired location on the square edge of a table or workbench. Mark the center point of the 3 mounting holes. Remove vise from location. Okay, this is all common sense. 1/4-inch bit. Place the vise back into position and install the 3. Where are they? I think they're in here. These look like pins. I think I see them. These are the pins. Okay, the only thing that's going to be a problem here is going to be that I don't have, my surface is so thick, I'm going to have to use different hardware to mount it. Install the 3, vise back into position, install the 3/4-inch, 22 1/4-inch carriage bolts, washers, and nuts. Recommended torque of 40. I don't have a torque wrench, but I don't know, just turn it, turn the torque, make it tight. Using a 7/16 socket. So they want you to torque wrench those on. Here's the only issue that I'm going to have right here. I'm going to have to use my own hardware. That's all right, because I got wood screws and I got washers, and that's what we do. And let me tell you why. Because they got you, look, I don't know how something's supposed to handle 200 foot-pounds of torque when it's that thin, right? Because they got it basically this thin. So what I think is we'll keep these and put them aside, and then we will use wood screws, lag screws, to install it, and hopefully that's enough stability. And it's got to be somewhere where you all can see real well, so probably right in here is good. Needs washers too, and this is a lot of stress, so it's gonna have to go in. I might have to even trying to think if I have to add some stability to it potentially. How do they have it orientated on there? Oh, they show it with another attachment. Yeah, that's correct. Now they have this thing turned all the way around. I don't want this thing to flip on me. Hold on, let's see how to loosen this ball joint. So what I need to do is I need to flip this around so it can be seen on your side. Because if I install it like this, actually, I don't mind that. Put it right here like this, right? Care and maintenance. This is a medium duty device and should be treated as such. Heavy hammering or high amounts of force could cause the vise to fall. Yeah, I can tell because like you can see sitting on this edge, which is made out of 2x4s, there's still a lot of weight on the back side here. So I wonder if there's a way to, what does this remind me? Oh, it reminds me of that little clamp on my bandsaw. This little lock unlock thing, I gotta figure out what that is. The IQ lock pin intersects and locks the ball socket joint for high torque applications. that the same thing as these other pins? Oh, this. Yeah. Some of the potential pinch points. Applying a high, it says it's also important to inspect and ensure the ball and socket are kept clean and free of debris prior to and during the use. Also recommend applying a high pressure grease to the ball and socket as well as the drive shaft of the jaws periodically. All right, so like a lithium grease. I'm gonna start feeling like Tool Man out here. If I had made a spot, nah, it's possibly not gonna work. But I wondered if I left a gap wide enough here. Nah, won't work. So it's gonna have to be put on. Can't use this hardware, but I can use what I have over here. Now, I have to figure out what these little switches do because this one I think. Why can't I turn the screw at all here? Now it's said to position it at a 45-degree angle. Start. Let me see what that does. Articulating the ball and unlock for quick. The base of the vise consists of an articulating ball joint, quick cam compression lever, and IQ lock pin. The quick cam adjusts the clamping force of the socket to hold the articulating ball and shaft in place. Once the desired position is attained, the user can simply pivot the quick cam down, hold the ball joint in place, and up to allow movement. The quick cam force can also be adjusted by turning the quick cam under the base. For high torque applications, the IQ lock pin should be used with the quick cam engaged for maximum hold. Sometimes when you're chiseling, like if we're chiseling something really, and it's really positioned up high in here, it's going to put a lot of stress on the vise. It probably would be a situation where you would have to do that. What I'm noticing is this pin is super tight in here. This locking piece to where I got a pretty good grip, man, and I'm having a hard time turning it. So I wonder. I don't want to mess with it too much. I want to get this thing on first. And over here, if it's on here like this, I should be able to. You can put a screwdriver in there. And turn it like that, I think. You know, of all the tools out here, I wonder, do I have a regular screwdriver? There we go. So I think probably with this deal right here, you're supposed to get it out first. Lefty loosey, right? So you take the pin, I think you take this pin all the way out and then replace it in there. It is so tight in there though. Yeah, look, here's what I was saying earlier. It says, if attempting to install on a bench top with obstructive bracing, 1/4 inch, 1 1/2 inch lag screws can be substituted. 1/4 inch by 1 1/2 inch lag screws can be substituted in place of the carriage bolts provided. So I said lag screws are going to bite on the inside grain of wood. So that's what you use when you're trying to bear weight. In case your bench top is thinner than 1 1/2, a wooden spacer can, why are you working on a bench that's less than 1.5 inches thick? All right, so lag screws are not included, but luckily I have those. I have a bunch of different kinds of wood screws and lag screws. Maximum distance is 3.5 inches between the jaws. If you try to open it wider than that, you can mess it up. You do have to remove the pin all the way. This pin has to be removed, I think. And I think it's lefty loosey here. I don't know if it's coming out or not. I don't feel like that's doing anything. Whoever put this together, like in the factory, I don't think they should have put this all the way in like this. I'm not seeing anything happening on the front side of that. No, it seems to be loosening. This needs to be greased. I don't know. I can't get that out. This is supposed to be put through this one and or this other one, right? So I think the next thing I'm going to do is try to mount this thing. This should be. You got to see the pinch points. You got to watch out. I'm going to break my finger on here. Okay, that makes sense. I hope I didn't mess it up. You have to undo the lock piece before you start to unscrew the like the torque key here that they got. Yeah, no, it's just that this piece has to be unscrewed to get the torque key out, right? Now it should move, and you want to put it at a forward 45-degree angle. That's what they said. We're not going to use a protractor, okay? And then that's locked down, so that should hold it in place. This is a cool thing, dude. I think it actually should be the other way. Yeah, put it the other way. This thing is awesome. Because this is the installation side. It needs to be like this. I don't think that makes sense for this. Let's see. Let's close the clamp up real quick. This is what they're saying to do when you install it. Put it to this angle. Righty tighty. I don't know if that needs to be all the way tight before I press this little lever down. Is that locked? Nope. Pull the lever up. Alright. Alright. Push the lever down. Like that. Pull the lever up. That does lock nicely in place. Now, let's make some screw hole marks here. I took my pencil and put it inside that jig, but I'm actually going to use a pen here. One, two, three. Just make sure they're marked. No, it's not threaded, Daniel. You're right. It was pinched in there. All I was doing was twisting it, thinking it was threaded. What was pinching it in there was this lock lever, right? So the lock lever, if you disengage the lock lever, it releases the pin. So you're right, Daniel. It's not threaded. Good call. Got Daniel on the research. All right, let's see what kind of big wood screws we got. I have these are about as strong as they get, man. Four-inch long lag screws. These will do it. I got these for construction when we were dealing with the door problem. I might want to have a washer. You know, washers really help with that weight distribution. So I wonder if I got any like handy washers around. It even would fit a washer there. I think that's why they made that little gap. Let me see if I got 3 washers that I can use over here. That's a little bit big. I use my washers a lot. It's unlikely that I have them. And like everything, when you're looking for something, you find other things. Like these carriage bolts that I got. These are washers on these are too big. Just need 3, probably. I can go to the hardware store tomorrow too and get some washers if I don't have them. I probably just need to keep a ready supply of them around here. I don't see any on hand. We'll try it without them. See how we won't put any stress on it. We'll just clamp something up in there and just give it basic stress test. Yeah, the only washers I got are these washers for these like 1.5 inch thick carriage bolts. So not gonna work. I use those for the corner posts of beds when I make beds using hardware. So this is what I think I should do. I'm gonna actually try to install it with just these lag screws because they're so powerful. I mean, just look how much meat that grabs onto. It's gonna be maybe a little too, nah, it'll be fine. I think that's just about the right length. I don't want any screws sticking below the bench, but when I add washers tomorrow, that might actually help that. Now let me go get my screw gun. Let's double check over here, see if I got any washers here now. Nope. And put too big of a pilot hole, so I might use those bits that came with the other jig. This may be a tad too big. You know, another thing you could do is clamp this down on your bench too, if you needed to. Switch over to the forget what somebody told me this the other day, what they call these Craig style screw, like what was the name of these types of bits in the generic world? Some of mine have been a bit stripped here, so I want to make sure I don't use any of these that are stripped. This one doesn't feel great. All I need is 3. I took them out too because these screws are expensive. If you calculate it, I got a box of these, but if you calculate them, they're probably in the 75 to $1 or more range per screw. So they're not a joke as far as being expensive. So when I take something apart, I remove the screws and take them back. And a lot of people think that's ridiculous, but when you're talking about hardware that's expensive, you know. Let me guess, Luke, you or him. That weird sick cat guy, that's you. Is that you? No? Hey, no, okay, never mind. Luke, this is not your burner account for the sick cat. You're not the sick cat guy on a burner account bringing it up because he was commenting on my video, so he really likes attention. I should probably just ignore it, right? Let's add some torque to this real quick here. Oh, actually, that's on, like full. This is where it gets tricky. It gets dicey when you get down into... All right, hold on. Don't fall. Let me try my other bit. I'm going to put more of a pilot hole in there because I feel like it's not biting in there. Or it's biting too hard. It's too much torque down there. I told you I was a little worried these were stripped. This was the problem I had with these screws last time. They get to that certain point and then they are really difficult to get in and you strip the heads of them. This one might be bent. I don't want to use that one. Sorry, I hit the microphone there. Boom. Hey man, Mr. Beast fan, saw you last time. Welcome back. Always looking for collaborations, dude. There is some like protrusion on the bottom. So I'm gonna have to back these out and put washers in there, I think. Other thing I can do is put a spacer plate, but I'm gonna cut the mess out of myself if I don't. Oof, those are they're sharp and hot right now. I might put like a little spacer plate in here. It's about, feels like a quarter to a half an inch. Put some bubble gum on them. That is a hack. I don't know if I want to take that kind of route though, because you know, bubble gum, it'll last for a little bit. Let me see. I know what I need to do. I need to get washers. The other thing I can do temporarily is put shorter screws in, but now that I drilled all these holes in, these are huge. My other screws will just drop in there. I'd love to be able to do this for the live though. These are probably plenty, these 2.5 inch screws are probably plenty powerful enough for most applications. But now that I drilled these pilot holes, they'll fall much. I bet they'll fall right into those things. See? They'll sit in there loose, and so I'll have to drill 3 new pilot holes. I like these screws on there. I either need a spacer plate or I'm gonna need to get washers from the hardware store. And I think washers is the best. Oh, I got washers here. These are not enough though. Yeah, no, these are not enough, I don't think. I wonder if I put I've never tried anything like that before. Nah, it won't fit over. So probably double washers here like this would work. I want to put this together for you guys, but I don't want to do it wrong, okay? I want to do this the right way. That's what we're about doing on this channel, doing things the right way. So here's what I want to do. tomorrow I'm going to go to the hardware store and get like 2 to 3 washers for each one of these. They protrude a little through the bottom. They will cut the crap out of me if I stick my legs under there. Yeah, who was it that said I could stick bubble gum on the bottom? That's true. I could do that. Yeah, yeah, I could do that too. Then I lose some of the bite of the screws. Your ideas are good, Dan. You know, I love the ideas. Here's the problem. I grind the screws off the end. I lose some of the bite of the screw, right? Or no? I'm not an engineer. I'm not a structural engineer. So what I should have done was gone with these 2.5-inch screws. These probably would have done it with the washers also. But now I drilled these pilot holes in my bench. I want to use those. Let me do this. I'll make a little temporary spot for it. We'll try these little 2.5-inch screws. I'll make new screw holes, and then tomorrow I'll go get the washers. I'm going to use these washers off of these lag bolt, or off these bolts to distribute the weight, because that's what washing is. Washing is distributing, right? I know that much about structural engineering. You're going to take these little washers. We're going to put 3 new holes. It's going to be not right next to those, because that's going to be where I mount it tomorrow. And I don't really care about my bench looking super nice. I'm going to cover this with cherry plywood soon anyway. We'll put bench dogs and all that sexy stuff in there that people like. That is a good idea. 5-inch block. Yeah, so it doesn't need to be that deep, but yes, a block would work. I also have shims over here. Shims would probably work too. If I shimmed the whole thing under it, I mean, we can look at that too. Let me go grab it. I got a couple little shims over here that are pretty even. We can try that, but see, there's this much protrusion off the bottom right now. I got that much screw coming out. Those shims are probably like a 1/4 inch wide. I got a 1/2 inch. What am I going to keep? I got to keep sticking shims under there. I feel like for now, the best option is to actually, for the purposes of the live stream, to take these washers that I just separated from these carriage bolts. I'm trying to remember what they were called. I'm going to put these 3 Craig screws in this with the carriage bolts, because tomorrow I'm going to actually bolt it down with these Craig screws. I'm going to use these 2.5-inch Craig screws with washers, remark holes right next to those basically, because these are 2x4s. It's not going to mess up the structure of these. Probably right here we'll put it. And then when I put it on tomorrow, it'll cover those, so it won't even matter. Love the ideas though, man. If I was on here watching someone else's live stream, I'd feel the same way. Like, I love to throw out ideas. I'm all about solutions. All about solutions. Put this in there. Those 2. This was the one I didn't want to use. All right, so here we have 3 new holes, and because we have vertical 2x4s here, it doesn't really matter if I screw right next to them or drill. There's so much support wood, it's not going to make a difference. But I'm not going to use the same bit, because that bit is too wide for these lag screws I have here, these wood screws. I'm going to use this little bit here. Hey, did the same guy get a timeout that we got a timeout last time? Yeah, bubblegum's, it would work. I feel like I would still get stuck with those things with the bubblegum on them. I like the idea of the plate under the bench. It's going to get in the way of my knees. That would work on a temporary basis. So that idea, I'm going to acknowledge that idea and validate that idea, because I think it's a good one. But to try to do due diligence here, we're going to actually we made 3 new screw holes for the 2.5-inch screws. Now, the way they described in the book we just read, that I read aloud, most of the important stuff, The way they described in there, these screws are kind of not really the heavy duty enough to handle that. But we're going to put a washer on. That's going to distribute the stresses that it endures a little bit, and they have a lot of support wood. So let's try with these real quick. I'm going to hand tighten that one just a little bit in there. All right, that's one. That already feels pretty good. Hey, if this works really, really well, I might not even change it. Yeah, I picked up a lot of bad habits from those kids. Like, I don't like to work. I decided not to work anymore. That's something they did. So here I am. My son, shout out Evan if you're watching right now. I'm not going to give him a fake name because I'm not that much of a douchebag like some of these podcasters and stuff. Shout out Evan. Evan was kind of frustrated this weekend, and he came out, and I was golfing with my other two sons, and he was like, I was like, do you want to learn how to do it right? Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, I don't. I was like, well, then peace, because I don't teach people who don't want to be taught anymore. I don't roll like that. If you don't want to learn, I ain't going to teach you. I actually stopped doing that while I was a teacher. I would just sit back in my chair. You don't want to learn? I'm not going to teach you. You rather play? Go ahead and play. I'll just collect a check. As soon as teachers do that, their stress level will go way down. All right, thanks for all this stuff is Chardonnay. Shout out Chardonnay, huge friend of the program. Looks like I got the bench vise installed. The swivel looks really nice. I'll grease that like they said in the manual, RTFM. I don't know, it's not tightening. Do I need to go right here? Yeah, so you got to tighten it by going right. Let's take a little piece of wood and put it in here. My review for it right now is like it looks pretty awesome. What did it say about putting these in though? Grooved rubber grip to grip a variety of shapes and sizes. Flex fit sleeves. Oh. Those are cool. So those are rubbery plastic to keep you from damaging your workpiece. There must be, I think there's something to connect these to these. Are we missing two pieces of hardware that I found? Ah, yeah. These are for the sleeves. All right, is that what you do? Ah, there we go. That is threaded, so it should be. Is it not threaded? It's not threaded. I think you probably just turn them. Let's see where the. So if you're doing high torque, it said to put this pin in, right? You probably have to do it while it's that's unlocked. You probably have to do it while it's loose. You determine that is not threaded either. These are cool. I just want to make sure I put these pins on right. That air's not running anymore, is it? I'm still running the air. I'm stupid. What's cool about this is I can actually angle it towards y'all too, so you can see better. Shout out to everybody who came in today, to all the regulars, friends of the show, Daniel, Ruiz, Mike is making things, Chardonnay for all the gifts. Chardonnay showered us with a bunch of awesome gear. Appreciate that. J&J, shout out J&J. Anybody else I'm forgetting? Gandara, shout out Gandara. Let's take a little piece like what I was working on before. Let's see how well we can I don't want to cut into that so much because it is a useful piece. Yeah, this is a scrap piece. Oh, let's do this. I'm gonna take this little thingy-majiggy, without breaking this stuff. I'm gonna make a center mark on this piece of wood. I'm gonna cut straight down the middle here. So I'm gonna cut this piece of wood. I'm not gonna cut the whole thing, but I'm gonna see how well does this vise work. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side because it's really easy now. Only thing is you have to use a ruler to get the very edge because the device doesn't lock on, but for the middle, right? Kind of hard to get all the way to the edge. So you just take a ruler and continue your line. This is gonna be awesome. Dovetails like crazy with this stuff. Trying to get my pencil line a little further, but man, I haven't had a vise in so long. Been having to cut stuff in the weirdest ways. And with the crosscut side, this is not exactly angle straight, but that's how we do it. Beautiful. And he's back. I do not own a gas mask. Thanks for asking, Luke. Appreciate the relevance of the question. Totally relevant. This is what happens, folks. You know this. Everybody here is like, this is, you guys know, it's like you know me. So this is, I guess, what you deal with when you do this stuff. Just like that. And actually fairly accurate too, because I didn't have the line all the way to the end. Real easy. This is awesome. Thank you, Chardonnay. Thanks for everybody for being here today, watching me unbox all this cool stuff. The Amazon gift list is on the Amazon wish list is on my YouTube and also on the Discord. You know, it feels like Christmas when you get the gift list and you gift this or that. See, I got bars too. See, and not just wooden bars. Yeah, Chardonnay, appreciate it. This got little teeth in it too, these vice jaws. I think they're supposed to be turned this way. I didn't find anything in the manual offhand real quick to tell me exactly what to do with these lock pins. It's probably simple, like they're turned. They have little notches on them here, so I'm sure it's just a turn. I'm gonna look through the manual and figure it out because I told y'all RTFM. But y'all saw this thing locks really nicely in place. It holds really well. I was very doubtful of it when I saw it on Amazon, but the swiveling action of it, I can point it towards y'all too. It's gonna make it so it's more visible when I'm working on stuff on the live. Real cool stuff, man. Cool stuff. And you know, I can work on small stuff. So I can go back to the child's blocks again. Where you all can see, and that's really important, right? It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome tomorrow when we come back, because the birds will be chirping, the bees will be buzzing, the pollen will be pollinating, and we'll be back tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm gonna go to the hardware store and get new hardware, because these 3 Craig wood screws and these 3 washers, I can see they're pressed down in here. This thing is sturdy. It's got a lot of support wood. So this thing's ready to go. I'm gonna use this a whole lot. Now, because I work this whole area of my bench, I'm gonna have to, when I'm working on other pieces, it'll have to be moved back. And generally with things like this, you only want to undo one angle at a time. I kind of just broke the rules on that. Let me move this stuff out of here. Oh, those are my drill bits. You really go with this. I'll fall. Shout out to everybody, Daniel, Chardonnay. Shout out J&J, Ruiz. Things. Appreciate everybody being here. Those are all my regulars. Dare I shout out the sick cat guy? I mean, really. The problem is when you're on someone else's live and you're just questing for your own attention. Like if it's all about your attention, it's going to take away from whatever they're doing on the live stream. You know, people do that though. We almost have to accept it. Everybody, have a great night. I'll be back again tomorrow. This was awesome to unbox these things, and we're gonna use them all. I gotta do some reading about the cabinet piece and how to install handles and stuff on that properly. I might use it maybe for my next bunk bed ladder. And then tomorrow we'll carve some more mortises and tenons for the bunk bed and keep that moving, because that bunk bed's gonna be a much quicker construction, quicker build than the last one. I told my dad that actually it's gonna be a much quicker build. So the last one was a little more difficult. Appreciate everybody, love everybody. Have a great Monday night. Rest, enjoy your family. Stay out of this kind of humidity and the heat. And I hope to see everybody back again tomorrow. This is Dad's Workshop. Hug somebody you love, and we're out.